I'm really proud of the way that he's worked. He's continued to really mature in a lot of different ways, and if there's one thing you know about this guy, he can handle setbacks. He'll have a lot of support from his teammates and coaches, and he'll attack the rehab. He'll probably get that surgery here in a couple weeks, but that's tough for him, and bummed out about that, but there's been a good couple days worth of work.
Darius,
I'm not sure.
did you get a chance, you were over there, did you get a chance to hear what happened?
Yeah, he felt it in his hamstring.
Will you, with Gary out, will you guys explore adding another cornerback?
There's a possibility of that, Gary. We have some depth right now, but being 2 days in and then having kind of a deloaded day, and then we'll turn it back up on Saturday. So we'll look at those things. The thing you want to make sure you don't do is when you get short on that depth, other guys have to pick up the slack, and then it can kind of have an accumulation of some workloads that you want to be mindful of. So we'll definitely take that into consideration.
Any chance you might bring Witherspoon back as a guy?
I would never eliminate it. I thought he did a really good job. I loved working with Akello last year, and so it's definitely something that you wouldn't eliminate.
What were your impressions of the cornerbacks the first 2 days?
I was really impressed. I thought we played really good sticky coverage, been mixing up a bunch of different things, but the guys are on the screws mentally. I've been really impressed with, Darius has obviously done a great job. I think that Kobe Durant's really taken some good steps, and it's been great to have Trey White out there. And so, bummed out for Darian, like I had mentioned, but overall, I really think our back end with the different things that we're doing over the first couple days, been really pleased. I think I can't say enough about the job that Chris and Aubrey and Coach Beek and Mike Harris have done, and Greg Williams, to be able to get these guys all understanding how to play 7 as 1. And for the first couple days, I've been really pleased.
Coach Puka's coming off an amazing year, and it looks like he's lighting it up still this year. And what areas have you seen him improve so
Seen him
far?
lighting it up so far, huh?
Yeah.
No, he's done great. Here's what I've seen. I've seen a really humble guy that he and Cooper have really been kind of hand in hand this offseason. And the thing that's so special about Puka is he's only going to continue to mature. You can see he physically looks better. He's really had a good rhythm and routine. But the humility, the work ethic, the ability to just have a growth mindset, all those things are why you love him so much. And so I feel really fortunate to work with him.
Even if you have to be careful with some of the guys in camp, obviously we don't know with Darius, but then also with Trey White uploading more snaps, who are some younger players who have at that position who have maybe taken a step forward, who you'd like to see take a step forward?
It's hard to say right now. I think, you'd like to see Trey Tomlinson. He missed the latter part of the spring, but thought he was making some good progress early on. Josh Wallace is a guy that we got as a young free agent that, had a really prolific career at Michigan. He's played big-time ball. Charles Woods has done some things, so we'll continue to monitor that. And, we are definitely not going to rush the process with Trey White just because of some of those things. And, hey, I'm sorry. Gary ended up, maybe Akello's a possibility for us.
How was last year Puka had a really physical style of play? How do you balance that going into this year?
I think it's kind of similar to what we talked about with Kyron. You want to make sure that you don't take away one of his elite traits. Those are things that he gives an edge to our offense to be able to do in terms of the physicality that he plays with, whether it's in the run game, in the pass game, Sarah. But you do want to be mindful of that workload and that toll and the toll it takes on your body through the course of 17 games and then hopefully afterwards. But I do feel really good about the foundation that he's set, and we're hopeful that he'll be able to pick up where he left off and improve upon that.
What would you describe as the kind of development and kind of growth of the relationship between Puka and Cooper in this offseason, but just over the course of last year to now?
I think the first thing is that Puka comes in and you got such respect for the way that Cooper Kupp just handles himself. You see on the back of a lot of our shirts model the way Cooper has done that in so many different ways with how he handles himself really in every facet, who he is as a person. So I think he kind of earns that respect. And then Cooper has such a heart for Puka. You can see they really love and respect one another. They've only gotten closer. They spend a lot of time together, and it reminds me similar to a similar relationship that existed between Cooper and Robert Woods, and that was a really special thing to see. And so I love watching those two do their thing.
Coach Sean's workload, it looks like you guys were mixing in quite a bit today. Just what went into that, what you see?
Yeah, it's really, Ron Gould does such a great job, Stu, of mixing it up. We've got some depth in the backfield. Ron's kind of got the autonomy in these practice settings to be able to mix and match whatever he thinks is best based on if we're scripted or if we're unscripted. But Blake is a mature rookie, did a great job in the offseason. Again, I'm looking forward to getting the pads on and being able to see, the lines of scrimmage, how our backs are ended up handling different things. But so far, so good with Blake. And Not really sure. You have to ask Ryan about that.
Sean, you guys look like you guys are working on some things with your screen game there. How important is a screen game to you guys' offense?
I think really all phases of our offense. There's different phases of the pass game. We did implement a couple screens today, had a couple of them to the back yesterday. So I think it's really important to be able to take pressure off the rush, make people defend, the width and depth of the field. And so today was a good execution of some of the things that we're looking to do, and we'll see how big of a factor it can be for us.
Sean, did you want Puka to get lighter?
I'll get to you next.
Thank you.
Dotson fully healthy. I see the rotation.
Yeah, he just felt a little something in his toe yesterday, so he was back out there today. And when I asked him before practice, how you feeling, he said he's totally fine. So I said, why the hell did you miss a little bit yesterday then? So, no, but he's feeling good.
Did you want Puka to get lighter during the offseason, and are you concerned about him taking a pounding with the way that he plays?
He really weighs about the same.
He does? Okay.
I think he's really just, he's physically, he looks leaner, but I think he's really taking care of his body. It wasn't about getting lighter. It was about really just finding that functional weight that he feels is best for him. I think he's kind of in that sweet spot, but he is, he's somebody that I think is really at a very similar weight, but I think just in terms of just the overall muscle mass compared to some of that little baby fat that he had is a little bit better. So he looks great.
Steve has talked about how you've tried to empower him as a leader now at center. What do you think he brings in terms of leadership to the offense?
I think he's got a nice way about himself. He's refreshingly secure in himself. He's got a great way that he just kind of moves from one snap to the next, and he can play really physical in between snaps, but he's really confident to be able to make calls. He saw a great example in Coleman Shelton and Brian Allen, two veterans that were at that center spot last year, being able to play next to him at the left guard. But I think Ryan Wendell deserves a ton of credit for the teaching progression, but I've been really, really pleased with Steve in the way that he's come back ready to go. I think he's had really good command and communication over these first couple days, and we're still in the early parts of our install at him, but just really excited about the possibilities, but you got to keep earning it every day. But so far he's done a great job.
Last two, Jordan and Kirk.
Thank you. Sean, noticed on the website Sean Desai's title that there was an assistant head coach or associate head coach.
Associate.
But I see him on the offensive sideline in consideration of his defensive background. Can you kind of describe his role?
Yeah, it'll be very similar to what Jimmy Lake's was. Jimmy Lake was instrumental in a lot of the things that we did, but to be able to have a defensive perspective on the offensive side of the ball, and then even, you look at the relationship that he and Aubrey have, and Chris Beek and Chris Shula, these guys are all just trying to positively push one another, use their experiences. Aubrey's our assistant head coach. You'll see him coach one of our preseason games and do a great job and lean on him heavily. But in the first couple months of getting to know Sean, I've really enjoyed him. He's got an unbelievable capacity for the game and a great humility about himself. And so I'm glad we were able to talk him into coming and joining us.
Sean, at this point in the spring, and in this camp rather, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse, how much are you watching them? How much are you talking to Chris Shula about them?
Oh, all the time. We try to be in great communication as a coaching staff. I try to stay connected to all of our players. I thought Jared Verse, I really felt him today. I thought he showed up in some pass rush situations yesterday. Thought he did again today, but I thought he was played more complete in both phases just from watching him from the sideline. And I felt Braden Fisk these first couple days. He's got a great demeanor. Both of those guys are exactly what we're looking for. And I want to just continue to see them grow, get comfortable with what we're asking of them, but also be themselves, because that's one of the reasons that we love them, just the way that they're innately wired, and they love this game, and you can see they've done a really nice job. We're excited about that.
Thank you, John.
Thank you guys. All righty, appreciate it.